Cozyy Joe Show, Thread Therapy, and I'm still continuing my cozie series, and I'm making my notes as I go. So we're doing the Pint Mason jar cozie, and I am using an old yarn from Red Heart called, what's this? Painted Desert. Don't know if they still make that or not, but I thought that was pretty for fall. Using a size G hook, going to start with a chain 3 very loosely and slip stitch to form a ring. So round 1 is, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to put 8 single crochet in that ring, and you want to put a stitch marker on that last stitch. Alright, so I cut a piece of thread to use as a stitch marker. I like those because they're very versatile. They're not stiff and they don't get in your way. So just pull it through like that, and you're going to want to move that up on all of the increase rounds as you go. Now you can change to a size, whatever size hook you need to fit your cozie. And it would be a good idea to have your jar with you that you're going to be fitting the cozie to, and you can fit it as you go. Okay, so that was round 1. Round 2 is going to be 2 single in each stitch around, so you'll end up with 16 by the time you get to that yellow thread. So let's do that together. Let's see. So here's 1. You do not join the rounds. So it basically just kind of works together like a big spiral, if you will. And the reason I do it that way is because if you join the rounds while you're doing this, it makes an ugly little ridge that runs up the side of the cozie, and I just don't like that. So all of the cozie bases basically start the same, with the exception of there may be 1 or 2 extra increase rows depending on what size jar or glass you're working with. Take that one out, put it there, so I know where to end on my next round. Okay, round 3, we're going to single crochet in the next, and then 2 single in the following stitch. So every other stitch is going to get 2 singles. So there's 1, and then 1, 2 in the next one. All the way around. So I have completed round 3. I'm going to move my stitch marker to the last stitch I completed. And now I'm moving to round 4. Round 4 is going to be single crochet in the next 2, and then 2 single in the next. So every third single crochet you're going to put 2 stitches, like so. So there's 1, 1 in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next. I'm going to do that all the way around. That's the end of round 4. You should have 32 stitches. And now I'm moving to round 5. Okay, I'm going to move my marker to the last stitch that I did. See how easy that yarn marker is? I love that. Okay, now round 5, we're going to mix it up just a little bit. Round 5, we are going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches, and in the 7th stitch will be 2 singles. So every 7th stitch, 2 singles, like this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 single crochet. Now as you're working your single crochet rounds after this one, you may find that you might need to adjust to fit your jar by either decreasing or increasing. So it just depends on how tight you're working with your tension and how big your jar is. So that's what I have at the end of round 5. Nice little spiral circle that grows. And so what I do, take my jar, kind of put it on there to see, kind of fit it. Now what's going to happen is we're going to start doing single crochet rounds only, and it's going to draw it up around the side in a tube shape because you're not going to have enough stitches to maintain a circle, and that's how that starts to come together. So I'm going to move my marker, and now I'm just going to start doing single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to leave that marker there. I'm not going to move it anymore because I'm finished with all of my increase rows, and I want to be able to count how many rows after that marker. So I'm going to start with singles, and we're going to go for, let's do 20 rounds and we'll see where that leaves us. Also, when it starts turning, it'll start to cup a little bit like that. When it starts turning, make sure you have the correct side facing. So this is your correct side, the right side. That's the wrong side. See how extra loopy it is? It should have a smooth texture, and you should be able to see each individual single crochet. So this is one of those patterns where it's not just enough to tell you the pattern because of different circumstances like the size of your jar or your tension or your hook size or whatever. You might have to make adjustments to it, so I'm going to tell you how to do that. So as you're doing your single crochet rows and it starts to turn, you're going to want frequently to kind of fit it to your jar, and you want the cozie to fit tight enough on there where you kind of have to scooch it up on there pretty good. Now it's going to take a good few rows to see if it's going to be tight enough to fit your jar, but if you see as you move along that it isn't, you don't have to unravel everything that you've started on. You can, let's see here. So if it's too tight and it won't go on there easily, you can put 2 single crochet in a stitch and add some increases if you need to, however many you need, spread evenly around. Or if it's too loose, you want to catch that kind of soon. That's why you want to be checking every now and then. If it's too loose, then what you would do, you would pull up a loop in one, pull up a loop in the second one, and then pull through all of those loops for a decrease like that, because you're crocheting 2 stitches together. So that is a fix if you need to do that. It's just the biggest thing is fitting it as you go, and like I said, it's going to take a good few many of these that turning it into a tube before you realize the true fit. So just keep a watch on that as you're going, and that way you'll be able to custom fit it to whatever jar or glass you're using. So that's what I have so far. See how it turns into a nice little tube? And I swapped out jars because I got thirsty and wanted me some cider, apple cider. So look. Oh, that's perfect. Alright, so I'm going to fasten this color off and finish it with a round of this. I did go, about 20 rounds? Let's see, that was row 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I went 19 rounds. Okay, so I was pretty accurate when I said 20 rounds. So this will be round number 20, and I'll come back and show you that when I'm done. And I only had to make one adjustment down here I made one decrease was all I had to do, and I'm going to slip stitch in the next single to kind of even it out a little bit so it's not so obvious spiral when I go to do my next round, and I'm just going to pull that through. Sorry, I keep getting out of frame. I'm just going to work that tail yarn in to that final round 20. So that's how that ended, and I finished off, and I'm going to go ahead. I always like to show how to finish it off, make it look right, because people might not know how to do that. So I'm going in the back right here. I'm going to pull up a loop, pull my tail yarn through that loop, and then I'm just going to thread my hook underneath these singles and draw that tail yarn through there. You can do several at a time. There we go. This requires more patience than the actual crocheting. You want to get it on there a good ways. There we go. I'm just going to cut that. You can cut it kind of close, just be careful not to catch your stitches. Got my travel scissors. Alright, so there you go. So let's take a looky-loo. Oh man, isn't that pretty? You can pull it up. Sorry, I keep getting out of frame. Look at there. Perfect. Now this makes a great Christmas present. You can buy these lids. That's what they're called. Found that at Walmart. And it goes on a wide mouth mason jar. Great gifts. And a lot of people don't think about mason jar can hold hot coffee, cold drinks, keep it cold or hot for a long time, plus the added benefit of that cozie. Cozie!